Greetings, brothers. You know, one phenomenal occurrence that takes place within the human living experience is that each individual goes through life in a way that is unique to them and their interpretation of personal experiences and their internalization of the world around them that largely shapes the way that they operate within the world. It's often noted how two people can have the same upbringing, let's say as siblings, and be under the same roof, and oftentimes, even if they're the same gender and also close in age, they can actually have two completely directions in life, for better or for worse, but they can have two different directions that actually run counter to each other, despite being raised within the same system of the same household. Highly celebrated athletes, for example, a lot of times they'll attribute their discipline and their competitiveness to growing up in a house full of siblings where they didn't really have a lot growing up and where they would often have to fight for the attention of their parents. And then when you couple that with the humiliation that they would oftentimes experience with being maybe poorer kids in the neighborhood in comparison to other kids who are more well to do, basically that gave them a chip on their shoulder, and they went through life trying to get recognition. And they found that athletics was an opportunity for them to be a high achiever. And so they found a place to have those desires fulfilled and also to express themselves as a result of some of the frustrations that they experienced growing up. And then meanwhile, another of their siblings may have had the complete opposite experience or different experience in that perhaps they chose a much more conservative career, and they're considered a more private individual, even withdrawn from family and the public. But what I find wonderful about this dynamic of interpreting life's experiences and cultivating knowledge about things through our own individual observation is that each of us grows up and matures adults, and we operate in life with certain advantageous qualities that we develop because of certain unique perspectives, and those things can actually elevate us in life. Now, in my household growing up, I had both my parents and my younger brother. And I mentioned actually in one of my earlier videos about why black men must stop seeking the approval of women, how I always admired my brother's bravery. My brother would never let anyone take advantage of him or pick on him or anything like that. He was very quick to physically defend himself no matter who it was against. And I think that when I look at myself, on the other hand, when I was particularly a younger kid before my teen years, I kind of looked at myself as being a little bit of a punk in the way that I wasn't as brave as my brother when it came to physical confrontations. A lot of times I was the sort of person that was trying to basically either avoid a lot of situations that could put me, in conflicting positions, or where I was just very much so mild mannered, and I was the sort of person that would probably be a little bit more toned to be tolerant of things that I shouldn't have been tolerant of. And when I really think about it, over the years, I thought back to how beneficial it would have been for the cultivation of my self-image to be more verbally or to be more physically aggressive against people who constituted themselves as enemies of mine. And again, it wasn't until a little bit after that and growing up where I would start to take some pride in actually defending myself. But I always admired this quality within my brother of not allowing anybody to try him. And I always looked at his degree of fearlessness as part of the brand of his personality. And now this manifested itself into his adulthood because around 18, just a few months before his 19th birthday, he actually took an adventure where he decided to move to South America, didn't really know anybody personally there. He had did some online correspondence and things like that for several months, up to maybe about a year beforehand, after, consulting with my parents and everything. But he got out of school, high school that is, about a year early, and decided to join a community college. And he said, you know what, I'm just going to go on this 3-month excursion and see if I like it. And that turned out 16 years later to this date being something that he actually made a life out of. Another member of my household, my father, this is a person who I learned a lot of key principles from. But the two main ones that stand out to me are his lessons in entrepreneurship and in establishing mutual respect with other men in particular. Now, through his entrepreneurial lessons, I learned the importance of having a host of skills that would, when met with hard work, provide me with a chance to be successful through my own enterprising endeavors. And I've seen my father mainly as a proprietor have a variety of types of operations growing up over the years, from restaurants and stores that he owned to retail ventures to home improvement, which has been his most long-standing business. And a lot of times he would stretch himself thin across his work, as oftentimes his operations couldn't keep up with the speed of his ideas. Nonetheless, he repeatedly has shown me examples of what vision, confidence, knowledge of people, and being a student of industries can do, to the extent that, for as far as I've been alive, he's been able to rely on his own income produced from his own efforts to the marketplace by turning over a profit. And when it comes to respect, he's always shown me the importance of being well respected by other men, and to establish that by first being respectful to other men. And then oftentimes, just with your demeanor, being able to silently articulate that you expect the same in return. It won't expect or won't accept rather anything less if you're going to be engaging with that person. And for any person who has gotten to any level of acquaintanceship with my dad, whether they agree with his ways or not in terms of his tolerance levels, they usually accept his disposition and his stance on things because they know that he's willing to stand his own ground in solace, even if nobody else agrees with it. And, my father, as long as I've known him, has always esteemed himself as an establishment. Now, when you look around at other black men who are your peers, do you notice any traits or qualities that you've observed in them and that you've gained an appreciation for? Now, for some brothers, we can admire certain things, whether they're in our personal lives or whether we notice them from afar, whether it's in person or whether it's online. Certain attributes that they actually possess, such as their hard work ethic, their strong mind, which is not easily influenced, their creativity, their resiliency to never give up despite life's obstacles, their ability to research, comprehend, organize, and communicate information with their words or with their voice, their confidence with women, their intolerance of certain behaviors of women, their discipline around fitness and nutrition, their ability to get along well with almost anybody, their ability to stand alone in their beliefs even when ridiculed, their persistence in pursuit of their ambitions against all odds, their courage, their wisdom, their ability to have a sense of duty among causes that are greater than them, their ability to keep a level head during chaos and crises, to stay calm and collected, their freedom to exercise furiousness, their responsibleness, their ability to keep a sense of humor during hard times, their ability to hold well-rounded conversations on a variety of topics, their attention to detail, their ability to maintain self-control and resist urges, their humbleness, and also their pride. You see, all of these are the gifts in black men, and all of us have a treasure chest among us to tackle head on any situation in life by adopting the outlook, the state of mind, and the behaviors of our brothers. So at any given time, no matter what you've allowed yourself to experience, no matter what you've been through, no matter those moments that you wish you could get back, at any moment you choose, you have gifts in black men right around you, where with your associations, with picking their brain, with observing them, you can easily reassemble yourself at any moment by adopting these admirable positives and then connecting them to our already existing wonderful features that we have within ourselves as well. And at any given point in time, brothers, we can take that shift or that big leap into a new and improved us. Let's band for brotherhood. My brothers, stay strong.